Odin has always sat at the summit, All-Father of Asgard, Fater of Mani, born from the mythic energies of the world tree itself. His word is law, his decisions shape the fate of 9 realms, and at his side, or rather, in his formidable shadow stands Thor, the Thunderer, anxious to prove himself, mighty in his own right, but ever allowed by the daunting glow of Odin's legacy. But what really separates them? What divides the son from the father, the inheritor from the architect? Let's start at the surface. Raw power. Both wield almost unimaginable might, but the source and shape of that power are fundamentally different. Odin's strength is woven from the ancient magic and wisdom he has gathered over countless centuries. There's a reason Odinforce carries the resonance it does. It's not just muscle or magical flirits, a primal, godly energy force that empowers its bearer with reality-bending capabilities. Odin, when he chooses, can conjure practically anything, shifting the landscape of worlds, resurrecting armies, erasing entire civilizations. There are tales where Odin faces entire pantheons and tips the balance himself, sometimes at a great personal cost. Contrast this with Thor. Physically, Thor is nearly unparalleled. Few can match his brute strength in the arena of gods. His hammer, Mjolnir, is legendary. It focuses his lightning, channels storms at his command, and, notably, refuses the grasp of any unworthy hands. Thor's abilities are the mythic traits of a warrior: thunder, lightning, flight, resilience, ferocity. But whereas Thor's power is spectacular, it's defined. There are edges to its limits, rules, and occasionally failed safes. With Odin, the line between possible and impossible is much fuzzier. Take Endure. Thor can stand toe-to-toe with cosmic titans. He's shrugged off wounds that would finish mortals 10 times over. But when Odin steps into battle, his stamina seems inexhaustible. There are stories of Odin fighting for months, tirelessly willing himself simply not to succumb. There's practically no precedent for Odin reaching his limit, except through his own choice, often portrayed as falling into Odin's sleep, a self-induced hibernation required to refresh his energy after monumental displays of power. And that brings up a key distinction: responsibility. Odin's abilities come with the weight of stewardship. When Odin exerts himself too greatly, the costs are astronomical, not just to himself, but to all of Asgard, sometimes the universe itself. Odin's knowledge is tested in decisions that affect everything: sealing enemies, reshaping reality, imprisoning threats, convulsing through the fabric of all existence. Thor, of course, carries burdens too, but his trials are personal, visceral, a contest of worthiness, not just for Mjolnir, but for his own sense of self. His challenges are more direct, more visible. He is the champion on the battlefield, the invigorating storm front. Odin, however, is the storm's architect. Asgardian magic is at the core of both. Odin's mastery is abstract, deep-rooted, and esoteric. He created Gungnir, a spear of cosmic authority, and can tap directly into the runes-on ancient lattice of knowledge and destiny. Odin sacrifices for wisdom, literally losing an eye for forbidden secrets, and this knowledge bleeds into his magic. He can rewrite fate, see threads of the future, and block or shield realities. Thor, by contrast, wields mostly the upper edge of Asgardian sorcery. Dazzling but specific, his command over lightning, conjuring the Bifrost, and sense of the cosmic storm. These are powers honed in battle, not in contemplation. Then there are their vulnerabilities. Thor's are easy to spot. Strip away Mjolnir, perhaps, or challenge his ego and sense of worthiness. He's powered by emotion, sometimes too quick to act. Odin, by contrast, is burdened not just by power, but by knowledge, knowing the dangers that lie in wait, understanding every consequence, paralyzed at times by the sheer gravity of his own wisdom. But there's another layer: succession. Odin's immense power is finite by choice. He withholds, he guides. Thor is still becoming. Odin's limits are self-imposed, rooted in the past and prophecy. Thor's are to be broken, shattered by will, grown beyond. If you line them up side by side, their true difference isn't just power, but purpose. Odin embodies responsibility, vision, and the hidden cost of omnipotence. Thor is strength unleashed, spirit restless, heroic possibility. Thor may inherit the throne, the wisdom, and perhaps, someday, the Odinforce itself. But until then, Thor's limits are tests to overcome, while Odin's are boundaries meant to keep the cosmos in check. And that, as ever, is the great gulf between father and son, the chasm between the world as it is and the world as it might someday become.